Okay, so dear colleagues, hello. So welcome to our conference, Optimization Without Borders. And I would like to remind that actually this conference is dedicated to 65th anniversary of Yuriy Evgeniyevich Nesterov and 50th anniversary of Vladimir Protasov. I remember that 1 year ago, Alexandr Gasnikov came to me with idea actually to organize this conference here, and we started to prepare, and actually we believed at the time that we can organize it totally offline here, but unfortunately now we have, I don't know if it's number 3 or number 4, I mean wave of coronavirus, and now Russia is in the red or even black region, and unfortunately we cannot host our distinguished speakers from really from different countries, from Europe, from America, but hopefully we managed to join us via modern technologies, via Zoom, and their talks will be available in YouTube and in Zoom here. And I think that 70% of the talks they will be actually in online regime via Zoom. So what else? Okay, so I would like to introduce then our first speaker, Alexander, who is our main organizer of this conference, and Sasha is going to talk about. So Sasha prepared quite short talk, 20 minutes talk about several ideas of Yuriy Nesterov that have an impact on us recently. Okay, Sasha, please.
Thank you. So we start to collaborate with Yuriy Nesterov for about 10 years ago, and for the moment the results of this collaboration I hope big enough, and let me briefly mention several of these results. This is a brief description. Tensor method, coordinate method, gradient-free methods, Nesterov conjugated gradient and their primal duality, accelerated alternating minimization, decentralized optimization on time-varying networks, accelerated stochastic optimization, accelerated methods with relatively inexact gradient, universal mirror prox, and many other. I just choose several that is close enough to this paper of Yuriy Nesterov. These papers have a great impact on us. This paper was written on the last 15 years, and when we start to collaborate with Yuriy, he think about some of these papers. For example, implemented tensor methods, and it was great to look how an outstanding scientist thinking about something, how to look at his evolution. It was great. It was a great experience for us, and our school at Moscow try to introduce these ideas, different ideas of Yuriy Nesterov and our other outstanding colleagues, Boris Polyak, Arkady Nemirovsky, to our program. We gave lectures at MFTI, and we use books. These books was written with our colleagues at Moscow, and these books are basically written on the ideas of Yuriy and mentioned before colleagues. Okay, and what is the main topic of my talk? The main topic of my talk is momentum acceleration of Nesterov, and how this momentum acceleration reorganize modern convex optimization. So what is momentum acceleration? It was starting from the work of Boris Polyak, heavy ball method, and heavy ball method argument of function f, nabla f, is simple xk without momentum term, and this method was accelerated only locally. And next step was made by Arkady Nemirovsky, and he proposed a procedure with auxiliary line search, and this was globally accelerated method, but with auxiliary line search. Yuri Nesterov mentioned that this line search can be eliminated, and he proposed to put the same momentum term as you can see here to argument of gradient. And this idea was proposed in 1983, and 20 years later there appears a cycle of works where it was mentioned that many different algorithms for coordinate optimization, gradient-free minimization, for primal duality setup and so on. So you can write, you can read red text. Can be applied this idea to the accelerated idea to many other circumstances. For example, just sorry, it doesn't work. Okay, so I just mentioned several books that was written in the last 2 years. In my opinion, this is very good books that contain an accurate description of modern accelerated algorithms, and this survey. This survey was written at this year, 2021. And so these surveys and these books consider a lot of modern application of accelerated scheme. But the purpose of my talk to mention such application of Nesterov acceleration that was developed in our group at Moscow, because Yuri often visit us and he share his ideas, and it has a great impact on us. And I would like to, let me say, to make a report. A report for Yuri, how does his ideas impact on us. So let's start with tensor method, and the basic idea goes back to Nesterov, is the idea that auxiliary problem that appears at each iteration of tensor method can be solved efficiently with almost the same complexity as a Newton step iteration. So the only difference with a standard tensor method is a constant PMP. So the idea of Nesterov is to put factor P that allows that guarantee that auxiliary function, model function, is convex, and this convex function can be minimized. Sorry, it doesn't work. Переключатель слайдов не работает. Можно? Все, отлично. Sorry. And the idea of Yuri Nesterov is to make an upper bound function a little bit larger by the constant P. P is the order of method, and so this in this context the method became implementable with efficient auxiliary auxiliary problem. So we develop this idea of Yuri Nesterov to introduce composite term in such context that this composite term can be non-proximal friendly. And the very important thing here is the auxiliary problem considered without any auxiliary coefficients. So we minimize just Taylor expansion, and function g of y are put it into this expression without any additional factors. So auxiliary problem is yk plus 1 equals argmin and so on. So it's very important because we can prove very nice theorem. Consider this envelope. This envelope contains as a particular case proximal envelope, because if function f here is zero function, that is f of x is 0. So this is a proximal envelope. Moreover, it's tensor proximal envelope. But if f is not 0, this is another envelope that replace function f by Taylor expansion, but remain function g the same as it was. Okay, and this is the result of the convergence of this method. This result is close enough to the result of Nesterov. It's just a small improvement in the order of rate of convergence. It's optimal up to a logarithmic factor. And so this is a criteria of efficient stopping of how to solve auxiliary problem. And if we use this criteria, this change the rate of convergence a little. Just a additional factor, red additional factor. So it can be implemented efficiently, since we do not need to solve auxiliary problem with high accuracy. We should solve this problem with relative accuracy. Okay, and the basic observation of Nesterov concerning this problem is this problem can be efficiently solved by using just only second order information. It was, for me, it's an outstanding idea. It's very nice, very simple, and it's really work. At this conference, Dmitry Kamzolov, who made a lot of experiments with Nesterov approaches, demonstrate how does this algorithm works, and he solved with Yahoo very, very big problems. I hope that Dmitry explain why this method is practical. Okay, and just this observation goes back to Nesterov, that this auxiliary problem can be solved by using only second order information. And moreover, we can also solve this problem by using first order information, but in this case, the accuracy of the solution, delta, are put it into the estimate. This is not good, but the factor 1/6 is small enough. It's not very bad thing. So let me just briefly conclude what is the main advantage of this line of research. So by using this envelope, we can consider composite optimization, Bekti-Bull, Nesterov, catalyst envelope, accelerated sliding, LAN, and all, and at all. Accelerated method for composite saddle points. So, for example, recent work of Lin, Jin, Jordan. And let me briefly explain how does it work. Okay, let us consider simple sliding with this envelope. In this case, we have a problem f of x plus g of x, and both of these functions are not proximal friendly. What is sliding? Sliding is so we use Taylor expansion of order 1 for first term and do not change a second term, and solve auxiliary problem by using the same algorithm, accelerated algorithm. On Russia it sounds ускоренный мета-алгоритм. Sorry for Russian. Okay, and so we split the complexities. The complexity of first oracle for first term is this guy, and the complexity of second term this guy. This is a complete splitting up to a factor, up to a logarithmic factor. So we can generalize this result by using this envelope for variance reduction problem. For example, we have f of x plus g of x, where f of x is a sum type function. And we can split the complexities in this case also. This is a recent result of our group. And move next. This is an example that was really appears in collaboration with Yahoo. Yahoo proposed us to solve a problem with tremendous dimensions, where m is 100 millions and d is 100,000. And so we are trying to apply Nesterov tensor, hyperfast tensor method. The basic idea is for some type problem, Hessian calculation can be comparable with Hessian inversion. And we choose M such that Hessian inversion comparable with Hessian calculation because of some type structure. Next, why we can choose M? Because of statistical precondition ideas, and we can reduce because all function fk are similar to each other. This is a realization of one function. So if we choose M large enough, we have approximation of whole target function by subsum. So we implement this idea, and it was really very efficiently in practice. And this idea based on Nesterov hyperfast method. I hope next talk of Yuri explain what I mean, what is hyperfast, superfast method. Okay, next idea, it was done by Katya Borodich. It's just application of this envelope I mentioned before to recent result in variance reduction. And Katya was the first who obtained such an bound. She made it 2 months earlier than our colleagues from China, I guess, I don't know. They firstly obtain lower bound, at the same time Katya obtained upper bound that corresponds up to logarithmic factor to this lower bound. And they use this envelope. For this envelope was proposed to convex optimization, but it can be applied to saddle point problem if we consider saddle point problem as a superposition of two problems, max problem and then mean problem. This was firstly initiated, I guess, in the work of Lin Jean Jordan, but Katya generalized it to variance reduction saddle points. Okay, next direction is coordinate methods. Yuri Nesterov wrote a paper 10 years ago about efficient coordinate descent method. And the basic idea is, so we have cheap iteration, but many iteration. And at the end of the day, total complexity looks similar for full gradient method, accelerated gradient method, and for coordinate descent method, accelerated. But the problem is for acceleration of coordinate descent method, we have auxiliary term in the complexity of iteration, capital O of n, where n is a dimension of the problem, because we have a multiplication, so-called extrapolation step in coordinate descent accelerated method. These problems unfortunately doesn't allow to minimize efficiently such a function that was considered in the work of Nesterov Stich. Maybe Stich, I don't know how to proper pronunciation, Sebastian, okay. And so they consider this problem, but they consider dense matrix. And recently, Pasechnyuk and Matyukhin, who present here, Vladislav, who must present here, yes, okay. So they understand how to generalize, how to develop new technique based on also catalyst envelope, specific catalyst envelope that allows to solve this problem in sparse case such that we have the same result. The result is as follows. If we have a non-symmetric situation, that is Lipschitz gradient constant along the axis quite different, and average constant quite different with the worst one. In this case, coordinate descent acceleration allows to win square root of n, since constant L can be n times smaller. Average L can be n times smaller than worst case L. This is an idea of application coordinate descent method, and unfortunately this idea was broken when we consider this function with dense matrix, with sparse matrix, and we understand how to solve this problem. Next is the work of Nesterov спокойный random gradient free minimization, and the result can be formulated very naturally. They obtain that if we consider gradient-free method, the complexity of this method is n times larger, I mean oracle calls. Gradient-free oracle calls are called n times larger, where n is the dimension of the problem. It's natural because we can approximately estimate full gradient by finite differences. So it's natural that the factor n appears. In general, this is lower bound, but if we consider specific situation, for example, such that the size of the solution or the distance between starting point and the solution in P norm is almost the same as, for example, in 2 norm, say P equals 1. If P equals 1, so Q equals infinity. In this case, we have factor square root of n instead of n, but instead of R2 square in 2 norm, we have R1 square. R1 is larger, but in some sparse situation, we have R1 almost the same as R2. So we have an advantage. This is the result of Eduard Горбунов, Pavel Durechensky, published recently. Okay, this is a Nesterov conjugated gradient. It was a cycle of works of Nesterov and Nemirovsky, and recent paper of Nesterov with co-author, some of this co-author from Moscow group. So this paper about conjugated gradient that converged globally as accelerated gradient method. It can be proved. And this method is primal dual. And this method efficiently applied to dual problems because line search is cheap for dual problems because dual problem has such a structure. Matrix vector multiplication calculated 1 times and then just recalculated. And why we consider accelerated method with line search? Because they have the same rate of convergence in worst case as the rate of convergence for a method with for fixed step method. Not fixed step, how to say? Not without line search. Okay, the idea is let us consider quadratic optimization problem and consider standard conjugated gradient method. If we have additional assumption about spectrum of this quadratic form, we have, for example, spectrum is equally distributed on the segment 0, 1. For example, in this case, conjugated gradient converge with factor 1 over, not factor, with a degree 1 over 6 instead of accelerated method 1 over 2. And this is called super acceleration, and this super acceleration is possible due to line search. But recently there appears a work that generalize this result, and in some additional assumption, super acceleration is possible also in case of without line search method. So this is alternating accelerated minimization generalization. This is accelerated decentralized optimization for time varying networks. recent result with Peter Rich-Tarik. Dmitry Kovalov is the main person who obtained this result. Accelerated stochastic optimization, we understand by using work of Nazin, Nemirovsky, Tsebakov, Yuditsky, how to obtain almost Hövding concentration in general case. Moreover, we do not consider a compact set. We can prove that in our bounds we can put a distance between starting point and the solution. This is not trivial result, and this is also accelerated methods. And the maybe last result is relative accuracy. It was an open problem. This problem was mentioned in the book of Boris Polyak, and he considered non-accelerated method and proof that relative inexactness of gradient is good for non-accelerated setup, but for accelerated setup it was an open problem, and we prove that with such assumption about alpha, the inexactness method doesn't feel inexactness. It converges almost, it has almost the same rate of convergence as exact method. So this is a universal envelope. So I just photo. I have 1 minute. Just photo of Yuri Nesterov. Special thanks to Svetlana Nesterova. And let me demonstrate several photos. In my opinion, it's very nice. This is almost 40 years ago. It was very young Yuri and Svetlana. This photo, Yuri with sons. This just an experiment. I do not show you who is the guy left. Please, what do you think? This is Yuri Nesterov, and who is another person? Написано? Okay. So it's Arkady Nemirovsky. Also Yuri Nesterov and Arkady Nemirovsky in USA. Also the photo of Yuri and Arkady. Look at the year, it's 30 years ago. 30 years ago. It was a period of time when Yuri and Arkady developed anterior point methods. As far as I know, it's starting from 1987, and for 1980, most of the result was obtained. And it was one of the first visits of Yuri and Arkady to France, to United States, and they talk about these results. So this is also a photo of Yuri Nesterov with Arkady. Okay, just with Boris Polyak, with Peter Rich-Tarik, Martin Takac. So this is a Euro gold medal celebration. This is this recent photo in the United States with Arkady Nemirovsky and Alexander Shapiro. And this is the end of my presentation at home with Yuri's group. This is Anton Rodomanov, Nikita Doikov, and his family. Okay, I have to finish at this moment of time and announce a talk of Yuri Nesterov.